when we talk about moving off a guy like Germaine Pratt, for me, that conversation doesn't even start if Sam Hubbard's still on the team. And that's for me, right? I think it is much easier to replace Sam Hubbard's production with what he's doing, whether it's with a Miles Murphy, with a Joseph Asai, with a draft pick, versus expecting somebody right away to come in and be your starting linebacker. And I understand the dollar amount. I completely understand that. And if they were to move on, the one guy I think that could have a very, very, very big role, and a guy I've personally been a fan of this year, was Shaka Hayward. I think that he's one of the guys. Obviously, he didn't get a lot of run this year. I think he played maybe two to three games at the end of the season. But that's where I would be looking, just because for me, I struggle to see, if you get rid of Germaine Pratt, who's going to be the immediate fix. And I think the smart move, in my opinion, would be just run it back with Germaine Pratt, Logan Wilson. And like I said, I like Shaka Hayward, and I would just really be focusing on the other positions versus getting rid of a guy that we know for a fact has familiarity with, the DC, versus, that was his position coach, and that he had one of the best years of his career under there. So that's how I would look at it. Like I said, I really address it saying, I'm circling Shaka Hayward, and it may sound like a weird name. Why are you circling him? I think he's the guy that's going to have to take a jump regardless, because like Logan said, he does like to use three linebackers a lot more than what Lou typically did. And with Akeem Davis-Gaither being a free agent now, we're not sure if he's coming back or not. So, like I said, I think that's how I would personally address it. And I personally would keep Germaine Pratt, but that's me.
Yeah. Y'all said a lot there. I think we all kind of agree with the same sentiment. I just think that there's a lot of knee-jerk reaction sometimes. Obviously, whenever there's change, we always kind of got our scissors out and we're looking to see who we can cut, right? But there has to be a contingency plan in place. If it's not a contingency plan in place, if it's not someone who you view as a significant upgrade, what are we doing? So I see people asking in the comment section, why not Jean Meta? I'll just say this: Jean Meta has proven to be, good on special teams. He's proven to be, good against the run. He's left a lot to be desired, I think, in the pass coverage game. And ideally, when you give someone a starting role, you'd hope that they'd be good at a little bit of both, and there wasn't such a big gap in that, in regards to his game. That's not to say Jean Meta can't develop into a very good linebacker for the Bengals. I just think that, it was a great preseason story, right? He looked good in spots this season, especially on special teams. I just think that it's a large role to go from feel-good story, special teams guy, to significant starter, right? And replacing a guy like Germaine Pratt. I understand Germaine Pratt left a lot to be desired, but I don't think that Jean Meta at this point of his career is better than Germaine Pratt. And I think that if you're moving on from Germaine Pratt, you ideally want to have somebody in a role that you believe, can at some point overtake those snaps and produce at a very high level. Evan, I saw your face there. Like, yes,
hear me out. Here's a fun name. We're gonna start doing this because it's free agency and draft time, So here's a fun name for you. How about you take the $8 million cap hit, $6 million cash that you're going to give to Germaine Pratt and give that to Dre Greenlaw instead?
I like that. I've always liked Dre Greenlaw.
I like Dre Greenlaw. I think so you're going to get a discount because he's coming off a year removed from the Achilles. So he's going to be. But that's the thing is you're not getting him the year after the Achilles. You're getting him the season after that recovery time,
which
right?
is when they typically
back. And he's not older. He's not 29 or 30. He's 27 right now. So you're 27. You're over a year removed coming back from the Achilles. Your market's going to be down a little bit from that. Why not take that money? Why not give it to him and have him play next to Logan Wilson and give a guy who's excelled in coverage? We've spent the 5 years hoping for that one magic replication of Germaine Pratt in coverage year or more Logan Wilson interceptions. Give me Dre Greenlaw. Give me Hal Golden. Let them work. I like the middle of that defense a lot better now all of a sudden.
There you go.
I like that.
You say you got to have a guy in mind. I got a guy in mind.
There's been a while since you've cooked like that. I
like Dre Greenlaw. He was a big part of the Madden franchises that I was building there for a while. So he's got a special place in my heart.
And you talk about a guy with the smarts. He played next to Fred Warner.
And he's definitely gone. That's the one thing.
Oh yeah.
Their defense, they're in a transition period at this point now. They're gonna have to remake a lot of different parts of their roster, the way they're constructed right now and the way their money's allocated.
I like that a lot. I like Dre Greenlaw, and then that's a name that kind of slipped my mind because right now when we're thinking about fixing the defense, for me, it's like my mind immediately goes to defensive line right now.
Oh yeah.